So if you go back to play before, obviously 2 plays, we take the ball down right before half. We get it inside the 5. I think we run it on the next play, get it down. I called a play. As we broke the huddle, guys were like not sure of where to go. I saw Alshon Jeffrey kind of start to the right when he was supposed to be on the left, and this and that. I look at the play clock and it's winding down. So if you remember, I run down and I take the timeout, right? And it's fourth, it's 4th down. So I take the timeout. So okay, he's come to his senses. He's going to kick the field goal, go into the locker room with 3 more points, this and that. Well, Nick comes over, and in the meantime now, as I'm walking back to the sideline, I'm looking at my call sheet at the 4th down plays that are inside the 5-yard line that could potentially, they had to score. We had to get in the end zone, right? So I'm looking at all these 4th downs. I'm looking at my sheet like this. I'm looking at the +5, the red zone, and the 2-point plays, and I'm like, I just can't find a play that I feel really comfortable about. And then here comes Nick, and he suggested, Philly, which is the Philly special. And it just kind of hit me like, oh, yeah, that's the one in my brain. It's like, that's the one. And I said, yeah, let's do it, and I was like, probably out of my mind, but just at that moment, like, what a great – and again, this is how it goes back to the camaraderie and the unity of our football team and the confidence that the guys had in one another and really the confidence they had in us as coaches because – we did a lot of things that year that were first times, particularly the 4th down stuff, the 2-point conversion stuff. And we were kind of ahead of the curve a little bit that now has kind of set the trend in the National Football League. So our guys had a lot of confidence in their ability to execute these plays. And when he suggested that play, it was like, in a way, it was kind of like a no-brainer for me. Like, that's the perfect play. Now, it was never on my 4th down menu. It was never in my +5 red zone menu. It was more in the gadget, kind of a trick play somewhere in the field, this, that, and the whole thing. 1st down, 2nd down, whatever. And it's interesting because I had my headset off, so none of the other coaches could hear our conversation. Plus, it was loud in the stadium, as you remember. So It was really just Nick and I having this dialogue. And then I clicked my mic back on. I called the personnel. I never said what the play was. Nick knew the play. I just called the personnel so we could get the right guys on the field. Nick went back to the huddle, called the play, and then executed that play. But as he was breaking the huddle, guys like Frank and, you saw that picture. Deuce Staley was over my –
I saw Deuce on one of the pieces of video, Zook was shaking his head. Was he shaking his head like, don't do the play?
No, because he didn't hear it. He didn't hear it until after Nick was in the huddle and breaking the huddle. And then LeGarrette Blount, I'll never forget, LeGarrette Blount was standing over my shoulder, and he kind of whispers, he's like, hey, Coach, what play? And I go, Philly special. And he just started going nuts. He was like, oh, my gosh, Philly special, the whole thing. And then, of course, the rest is history after that.